Welcome back to Connect. I'm guest hosting for your normal host, Paul Lodato. My name is Stan Stouder. We're delighted you're here. And we are connecting the Christian community and the world through WRXY-TV. You know, you and I have had the benefit of working together and doing business. And I wanted to, for the first part of your visit here tonight, I wanted to have the people get a little sense of who you are professionally. And then the second part of our visit, I wanted them to get a little sense of what conference you're preparing to have up in Tampa. So I know, David, you've got a company called Epiphany Marketing. Why don't you tell us a little bit, what is Epiphany Marketing and what does it do?
Sure. Well, Epiphany Marketing is the business that God gave to my wife and I. We started in 1998, and it's one of several companies that I've started in my life. I've been really thrilled and pleased and pleasured to have the opportunity to start businesses. And I'm virtually unemployable at this point. But in any case, Epiphany Marketing was originally birthed as just kind of a part-time gig. We took on projects to help businesses grow. I had a background, I'm a technologically inclined person. The first business that I started some years back was a computer-type business. And but I always had this flair for marketing. So we started in 1998. And it was a part-time thing. I was on staff full-time for a ministry in the Sarasota area during the beginning phases of the business. And in 2001, the Lord spoke to us and went full-time. And that was September the 10th, 2001, which was a great Monday. Of course, 9/11 happened the next day, and that kind of really put us into a minor recession. So, you know, our focus has always been helping businesses grow. We work primarily with small businesses, although we have worked with multinational conglomerates and some household names that, you know, viewers would recognize, like the Ziegler Corporation and so forth. But our heartbeat has really always been focused on the small business owner and helping small businesses thrive and grow and expand their reach and grow revenues.
One of the things that I, as a business person, find challenging, and in fact, I was exchanging an email with a pastor yesterday, and I said to him, one of the hardest things to monetize is marketing. And when you say marketing, it is such a broad spectrum. Could you just give me, like in a bowling alley, give me some bowling pins that would identify what it is Epiphany Marketing does for its customers?
Sure. Our first goal has always been to train customers. We find that many times when there's a marketing issue or there's a revenue issue or there's a need to grow in a business, typically business owners and in the small business world, most of their teams have never had any training where marketing is concerned. What is marketing? Most people assume it's advertising. And of course, advertising plays a role. But we find that our primary goal is to educate the business owner and their team in what it takes to effectively target the right people, what it takes to understand their own identity as a business owner, and then to effectively message that identity to that target market in a way that compels people to take action. And we believe in multiplication. And so we're not in the grow your business by addition mode. We're in the grow your business by multiplication mode, and that's our heart. So we primarily train our customers. We do provide a suite of services that will relate to, for example, helping with a web presence when that is something that makes sense. Some of our customers come to us, they've already got a website. Our goal is not to be a web development company. Our goal really is to help develop solid marketing strategy and provide the needed know-how for a business in order for them to really thrive in this environment that we're in today.
So I like the way you described that, messaging their message. In what corridors would you have a business message their message?
Well, you know, we find that most businesses have left the message to the last phase of any marketing campaign. For example, I always joke about when the yellow pages were still an important factor. They're certainly less so today than ever, but at one time, you know, the old joke was, you know, the yellow pages ad guy is here, you know, yeah, should we renew? Yeah, we should renew. Should we get a bigger ad? Yeah, we should get a bigger ad. What should the ad say? I don't know. You know, let's let the salesman for the yellow page company write the ad, you know. Why? Because we don't have a clear message articulated. And so in today's environment, the message for any business gets communicated all the time in every business system, and it's incredibly woven throughout everything that a business does, from what a customer experiences when they first learn about the business, anytime a phone call is placed, if they visit the website, Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, various forms of outreach. All of those will be affected by the message that a business has to share. And most businesses haven't spent, in my opinion, enough time effectively cultivating and articulating what that message really should be. So we really try to walk our customers and our clientele through that process and help them hone in on how are you going to articulate to the right people what it is that you do and what your value is as a business.
That is reminiscent of a business being like many people in life. They go through their life never identifying who they want to be, like a business not identifying what its message is, and you end up with a lot of years and not a lot of results. So identifying the message is, I think, a key component to then identifying what vehicle you want to use to broadcast that message.
And you're exactly right. Most people start with the vehicle and they say, well, we need to advertise on such and such. And they don't realize that really the methodology that you use or the mechanism that you use is really the last stage of the game. You really do need to have a clear understanding of your identity. And I love talking to Christian audiences. And you as a Christian business person, you can understand this very well. Most of the time, and I think we could prove this scripturally, but you cannot separate the identity of a business from its ownership. The identity of that business, the calling that God has placed on a business, is going to be directly tied to the calling God has placed on the individuals that are in ownership and in leadership in that business. And so your point about most people making it through life with an identity crisis of some kind or another is very critical. You know, for us to succeed in business, we have to have a clear understanding of who we are and what we provide to the marketplace. And if we don't understand our calling as a business person, then we're going to be behind the 8 ball already. So that's really an area that we focus a lot of attention, even when we're working with, sort of a general marketplace client, somebody that may not realize that we're believers. We don't necessarily, exclude folks that are not believers, in terms of business. We'll serve anybody, but we're always looking for and reaching out to discover their calling and help them uncover that as well.
I think one of the hardest things I have done as an adult is to throttle down and be still and develop what it is God wants me to do. And my life mission statement is helping people prosper. And as simple as those 3 words are, it probably took me weeks to understand that, and then to break that down into, well, how does that happen? And I think if we could get a message out to folks today, it would be, there's nothing more important than understanding what it is that you want to end up with in the future. And there's all kinds of time management stuff that says, what do you want said at your funeral, and how do you want to be remembered? And that's the easy part. The hard part is taking the time to figure that out.
That's the truth.
And I think once that can get figured out, then we're able to be a lot more effective.
In the early days of our business, we found ourselves doing a lot of that kind of work with our clients, but we didn't understand in the early days that that was valuable. I did it because I thought this is how you get to a marketing project with a client. You help them step through some of this and you help them think through that. It wasn't until later that I began to realize that's the most valuable part of what we do.
That's true.
And it's the hardest work.
It is.
When we walk a business owner and their team through that process, when they have a team, sometimes it's just one, but when we walk them through that process, it is some of the most intense stuff that any business will ever go through. And yet it is the most valuable thing that they can do.
Give me a wrench and I can spin a nut, but don't ask me to figure out what I'm building. And that's really what we're doing.
That's exactly right.
Well, in all candor, I've had the blessing of working with Epiphany, and I have very much enjoyed the fruit of that labor and the results, so I don't want to come off as if I'm uneducated in your service, but for those that have not had that benefit, who would be somebody that should call Epiphany Marketing?
Sure. We have several layers of service, and so there are those businesses that might say, I'm not sitting on a huge marketing budget. I know I need to grow. And for a business like that, we can say, we have some training programs that we can provide for you that will help you move from where you are to a better educated place where you can make better decisions and even implement many of the marketing tools that are so great today are absolutely free. As you know, Twitter doesn't cost any money per se. There's no cash outlay in terms of software and tools and whatnot. You know, many folks already have a smartphone, or they have a computer with a web browser, and really that's all you need to market effectively on Facebook and Twitter today. So a lot of the tools are free. And for other businesses, you know, that maybe at some stage of growth or another, or maybe at some stage of need or another, we do have customized services. We certainly will consult and walk them through a process very much like what we just articulated, in a one-on-one sort of environment. And you know, we do provide a much higher level of service as well for clients that need various services that might be anywhere from creating a website to maintaining the site to creating content for their sites and their Twitter accounts and Facebook pages and whatnot. So we really have various levels. So any business, we service businesses, whether they are selling to consumers directly, you know, it's a retail type environment, or whether they provide services and products to other businesses. So we'll really provide you know, services to any business. And our preference, our sweet spot, is definitely with the smaller businesses, which according to the SBA is fewer than 500 employees. So you know, it's a pretty wide range.
Would you care in the last 10, 15 seconds that we have on this to encapsulate Epiphany marketing?
Sure. You know, our calling is to help businesses really grow and to achieve the calling that God's placed on them. You know, if you're a business owner and people don't know about you, you're not going to fulfill your calling. So we're here to help you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is David Johnson from Epiphany Marketing, and I believe you'll have monetized results. We'll see you after the break. You're watching Connect on WRXY-TV.